The San Francisco Planning Department plays a central role in guiding the growth and development in our city. The mission of the department is, under the direction of the Planning Commission, to shape the future of San Francisco and the region by generating an extraordinary vision for the general plan and in neighborhood plans, fostering exemplary design through planning controls, improving our surroundings through environmental analysis, preserving our unique heritage, encouraging a broad range of housing and a diverse job base, and enforcing the planning code. The department's vision is to make San Francisco the world's most livable urban place, environmentally, economically, socially, and culturally. In order to do so, the department works with elected officials, community organizations, and other stakeholders and policymakers to prioritize policy goals for San Francisco. The department provides the policy structure and framework for land use issues. In addition, it develops and supports social policy through land use and related mechanisms. Finally, it ensures environmental impacts reviewed. The San Francisco Planning Department has several subdivisions, such as citywide planning, which provides long-range planning, environmental planning, which determines environmental impacts of proposed projects and policies, and current planning, which implements land use policy through review of development permits. Fortunately, we have invited one of the citywide planners, Teresa, to answer some questions on the housing issues.
People have always been talking about how much housing prices have risen and that there's not enough housing for everyone or anyone who wants to live here. And I think in the last few years it has gotten worse. And so the question is, are we not building enough housing, or are we not building the right type of housing? In the last few years, we've actually been adding a lot of new housing to San Francisco's housing stock, but a good number of them, well, majority of them are actually luxury. The department is responsible for preparing the housing element as required by law. The state of California requires that all jurisdictions prepare a housing element to meet its housing need, and this is updated every 5 to 8 years. The housing inventory is an annual report that the planning department produces. It looks at the housing production trends, and it has been published for a long time now, since 1967. And every year we look at how many units have been completed, how many units have been approved for construction, and how many units have been, or how many units are being reviewed by the planning department, for example. So over time we could figure out and estimate some sense of what the production trends have been for San Francisco. And the housing inventory is just an accounting of what housing has been produced and what we expect to be produced in San Francisco. Actually, the city has some pilot projects now, or pilot areas where these additional dwelling units could be built. Supervisor Wiener had introduced legislation, and Castro is where these additional units are being allowed. There's also the legalization of illegal units. This would allow those property owners who have built smaller units in their housing to come out and say, okay, I want this to be legalized and considered a full-fledged unit. So yeah, all I want to say is that we don't necessarily have to build high-rises, but there are other there are other potential building forms, other building forms that could still provide additional housing.
Okay.